He's a man now, right? The citizens of New Zealand!
Gay is good.
And if we're all the same, it'd be a pretty boring place.
This is Gayville. Let's get real, Jacinda.
The Outlook Podcast, queer news, views and culture, brought to you by NewsHub. To subscribe, head to newshub.co.nz/podcasts. Welcome to the Outlook, queer news, views and culture from NewsHub. In the studio this week, the newly crowned Mr. Gay New Zealand, Nick Francis, former Gay Miss New Zealand, entrepreneur and Instagram thirst trap Matt Fistonich, and a very special friend of mine, Michael the Voice Kooge. How's it going, everyone?
Good.
Yeah.
Special, thank you.
Special, very special. And if you think Kooge's voice sounds familiar, let me just jog your memory.
News hit. It's just gone midday. Kooge here live from News Hub. A body was found yesterday, but a search has started up again for another man missing off the Kapiti coast.
Beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Very
thanks.
beautiful.
Must be said. Thank you very much.
He is called The Voice for a reason. Soon we're going to tell you about this weird, random, homophobic emoji that has been popping up on Twitter, and it's all thanks to Apple, surprisingly. But I just want to rewind the clock about 10 or so years and talk about Kooge and I, and how we've known each other probably that long, and it's weird how our careers have pretty much been parallel. We both worked at Sounds music stores back in the day.
We go back a longer time, I think 15 years actually.
Gosh.
Yeah, but no, we worked in Sounds retail together,
Yep.
which if anyone remembers that, CD, sold CDs
Please,
and tapes.
if anyone remembers that, let us know, because we're feeling a bit old and no one remembers what it was like to have a music store. But then we both randomly ended up not only in media, but at the same media company, which is it's quite funny, really, because at the beginning, I always used to say to you, you had a radio voice, but I had no idea that you were interested in radio. So
You also said I sounded Māori. I'm definitely not. But no, yeah, it's so funny how characters in your life can intertwine in the randomest ways years later. But I mean, you've been very heavy on the news, and I've been very heavy in the entertainment world. I've been the last 10 or 11 years been working since I was 24 at the Edge radio station. That was a massive part of my life. All over the show, actually. I was obviously the voice of the station for 10 solid years.
Wow.
What's my favourite thing about working there. That was I really loved doing that. It's a very weird art, but it's so fun.
But it also becomes like kind of iconic, because the amount of times you're out and about and you hear the Edge.
Well, no, don't try.
Oh, please, can you do it?
The Edge.
Oh.
The Edge. I don't know if that sounds exactly right, because
The
our
first one
microphones
kind
were
of
a lot
did,
more
but you,
superior
like-
than this one was.
But it almost just like you were saying it normally.
The Edge.
That's just me. It's my voice.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Our
how
voice.
I sound.
So obviously we were friends back then, and you moved into radio, and things started happening in your life in terms of you becoming or realising who you are.
I realised who I was a very long time ago.
You were closet.
To be honest, that was probably the biggest role I've ever played in my life, was to be a straight guy for 10, 12... I mean, all the way up until, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was a massive role, because it's in every facet of your life. And it's mind-boggling how much of a facade you have to keep up.
Yeah, and do you get caught out by your own lies, or?
No, I very much just didn't lie.
Right.
I just didn't tell the truth. So I pretty much just skirted around a lot of subjects.
I remember conversations that we had quite a while ago, obviously, when you were dealing with some things, and the hard part for you was your family.
Oh, totally. Well, we grew up in a very strong Catholic background, and I'm talking insanely strong. Like, primary school, high school was Catholic. My dad is a deacon, which is a part-time priest. And I mean, I love and respect them all for that. That's, that was our religion. To me, I left it a little bit, because I found it way too hard to try and live the life I wanted to live properly with the religion thing in it.
One thing, because I've always struggled with the idea that gay people and church and religion and almost how they can live side by side.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I kind of thought that wasn't possible, really. But seeing your mother and your relationship, and, she's still a very religious person, that's kind of completely proven me wrong. So tell me a bit about that, how... she's religious, she's okay with who you are. Was that a process, or was it instantaneous? How did that go?
Yeah, it definitely was a process. I mean, it all just came out one night when I broke up with an ex. And I was distraught and I didn't know who to talk to. I was completely beside myself because no one knew about me at all apart from me and the ex. And I was just a mess. And I remember calling Mum and I just didn't know how to even say the words that I'd been broken up with someone. And she pretty much got it out of me and it just came out. And I was just like, it was such a freeing moment because I was just like, screw it, I can't be bothered anymore. It's too much effort. It's just all of it's too much effort. And I'm so sick of paying lip sync to so many people in my life for no reason. I get no benefit out of it. And then I just broke and I just yelled it at the top of my lungs and I just said, I don't even care what your answer is about what you think, and then and that was such an amazing turning point when you don't care what people think anymore, and that's when you really find your own adultness, individuality.
When you said she dragged it out of you, does that...
She coaxed it out of me. She kind of knew.
She knew?
Yeah.
In a motherly kind of...
Yeah, totally. No, she was amazing. She's amazing. And it still takes a long time for people to get their head around. The main reaction I got from my siblings were, why didn't you tell me earlier? And because they felt cheated, that I wasn't truthful with them. But people need to realise it's a very individual journey. It's not about other people. And as much as I can see their side of things, and they obviously want to support and help, you have to be ready.
Yeah.
You can't just... People these days, younger people especially, like, 18, 20s, they're very lucky that they have been brought up in a world where a lot of gay people before them have really paved the way and made it so much easier. And entertainment content has paved the way as well, and music and stuff now. It's all very normalised now. But before, even 10 years ago, we were living in a different world. It's a very different world.
And I think it is a very individual, you choose when you're ready. For example, I met a family at the Big Gay Out who brought along their 10-year-old who was openly gay. Now,
it's amazing.
Different people would have opinions about, whether or not that's possible, but I remember from looking back at my childhood, kind of retrospectively, I can identify things that would have told me, had I known really what gay was, that I was from a very early age. So I don't doubt for a second that this is just a phase for this kid. So it is a different journey for different people.
It really is. Yeah. I'm still, to be honest, still dealing with it because a friend of mine a little while ago told me, we were talking about it, and he said, I'm sick of coming out all the time, every day of my life. You start a new job and people ask you questions about your partner and you're like, oh, I don't really want to talk about this. Because it's not that, we want to scream at the top of our lungs. We kind of just want to live our lives and be left alone. Yeah. And do normal stuff. And do normal things. If the shoe was on the other foot, imagine having to tell people every day that you're straight. Exactly. Yeah.
That's pretty much how it is.
Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is that a lot of people jump straight to sex as well. Like that's what comes hand in hand with being gay, is that it has that kind of imagery that is attached to it.
Also, you're hiding something very private, living quite a public life.
Exactly. And that's a very hard balance.
And you're meeting guys who then are like, oh, you're the guy from the Edge.
Yep, and that can go either one way or the other.
Give me a free concert ticket.
It goes both ways, because you get the ones who are like genuinely excited because they are a fan of the whole thing and they respect you for what you do and they legit think you're funny. And I really appreciate that when people think I'm funny, because I don't think I'm funny. But I really appreciate that when people thought that. And I actually got into relationships with a couple of people and they knew me and respected me before they even knew me personally, and I really liked that. But then you get the other side of people who, there were people that wanted to be with me because I was semi in the spotlight and I had connections. I had someone I went out with, I didn't realise that they were going out with me just because they wanted concert tickets, because I take them to everything I got for free. Because they wanted someone with me, who was close to me. But I didn't realise that it was actually a fake thing. Yeah. So that was a real thing too, and that was quite disheartening.
And were you worried that word might get out? Because
totally. I was scared.
So you meet someone and they then start telling their friends, Kooge, blah, blah, blah.
And it happened, so it did actually happen. Yeah. And it freaked me out a lot because I wasn't ready to address that within myself personally. Yeah. And so that's a thing. It's not like, it doesn't really matter who knows, because I don't care what people think at all. You can think whatever you want. But to know that it's this thing inside you that you kind of got to unlock a vault and go, it's okay, it's all right to unlock that now.
So you're obviously working with JJ, Mike and Dom for quite a long time. You weren't even open with them.
No.
So how was that? I mean, obviously you knew that Mike was openly gay, so...
At a point he wasn't before. Yeah. And that was a really hard thing to watch happen, because he came out publicly on air. I remember putting up, because I was also a digital website person, and I put up the content around that. We made a big content thing for him. Yeah. And I remember it. It was on the website on the main page, and it had big letters, Mike, I'm gay. And it was just like, those things, that someone like punched me in the face when I typed that out and put it up for him, because I felt like I knew what he was feeling. You know, that immediacy of just like, it's out there. And back then, this was 8 years ago, it was still a big deal.
Yeah.
And he was so worried about it. But then when it happened, we were all so proud of him. We all just gave him the massivest hug, and he got people sending him flowers, and he just felt so free and so happy the week after. And I really was inspired by that. I mean, he's been a true, like a leader of going before me. And he helped out a lot of other people at work too, because there were other gay people at work that were too scared to come out. There were. Yeah. And they were shit scared.
Are you a fan of emojis?
I never was, and now, I do, actually. Sometimes I can text them back and have a full conversation in emoji because I cannot be bothered typing.
I do get, I try and tell stories with emojis, or like the plot of a movie, perhaps.
Oh, that's actually...
Usually just Titanic and then water, and then you're done. But anyway, I was looking around the world for some interesting things to talk about, obviously, and one that caught my eye was a new emoji that has appeared on Twitter this week, and it was discovered by a guy called Mitchell, who discovered a flaw in the iPhone coding, which users can post a rainbow flag and then a strike through a black cross through it. Mitchell, who identifies as gay, said he was shocked when he discovered this hiccup, but was rather amused that the gays kind of owned it on Twitter. It's quite bad that there was like a hack that could basically go anti-gay on your iPhone.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, so it's like a rainbow flag, and then, imagine like a no entry sign popped on top of it. So it's like, no rainbow.
Okay.
Is there any explanation online as to where it came from or why?
Apparently, it's just a coding hiccup. So it's like it wasn't intended. When you do it on a computer, they sit separately, but when you do it on your phone, they hop on top of each other.
Yeah, because there's no way Apple's homophobic at all. I think every gay has
Coding
an iPhone,
issue.
and isn't the CEO gay?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover or an opinion you'd like to share, then you can email us, theoutlook@mediaworks.co.nz, or leave us a message by calling 0800 002 898, and on Facebook, search for News Hub Podcasts. When I was in Texas briefly, I couldn't believe how big the SUVs are. It's like you've got a massive SUV, then you kind of put it on the back of another one, and it's like 3 times the size.
Yeah, they're actually starting to creep in up to Kooge.
Oh, really?
2 car parks wide, aren't they? Like, and they've got like 8 tyres in the US.
Yes.
Yeah. And they have to climb in, like they've got like a handle on the side of the thing when they climb up. There's like 2 steps.
Yeah.
It's just a motorhome now.
Especially Americans. Kooge, was that like the new...
It's the new gay village, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say...
Nick's actually up there as well.
The new Texas, I thought you were going to say.
No.
Kooge's turned into the new Ponsonby, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it is,
I was actually there the other day. It was,
yeah,
and it's very busy.
It is.
I'm one of the originals.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm an import.
I hope you bought all the houses so now you can sell them for millions.
Oh, no, we have bare land, we're a full farm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Farm boy.
There you go, everyone. He's single.
And his Instagram handle is. We should actually learn a bit more about you. Let's, Nick, hear about what you do in your day-to-day life.
Ooh. So what I currently do is...
Top or bottom?
Oh, well.
Oh, depends on the situation. Depends on the situation. I work in insurance.
Yep. And you're from a farming background, so
I am.
Tell us all about that. Were you out on the farm, like milking the cows and
Milking something?
Yeah. Unfortunately not milking, but definitely lifestyle block. So home kills. Oh, I know how to do all that.
Oh, that is Texas.
He knows how to take care of the meat.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I wish I'd have brought in a bell for really like innuendo comedy.
Dan's not making these jokes. That's Dan.
Actually, I'm going to put in a bell afterwards. That'd be great. In your submission to the competition, though, you talked about sharing your personal experiences, and I'd like to hear about some of those.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot of personal experiences. I guess that what makes me relatable to everyone. You probably name it. I've probably gone through it. I've been through abusive type of relationships, seen through family violence in relationships. I've seen gang violence. I've seen families ostracize their own children. I've seen quite a lot. being, I guess, in Pacific culture, you see a lot of things that are closed off. And yeah, it's quite graphic, but it's something that I just take it as like a learning curve. Like, it's something definitely I take with me, and I can't.
How did you? Because that sounds so much to deal with. How did you? And other people who would have experienced all of those things would have gone down a completely different path, a very dark path. Why did you? What made you? What allowed you to essentially turn all of that really into a positive and build up to be, a better person?
For me, I guess you definitely have to find someone, find people, find a group that you can open it up to. Holding that in is definitely probably the worst things that you can ever do. Like, I've been in the situation where I didn't want to tell anyone because I was embarrassed, and the last thing you want is people to look at you differently and judge you. So definitely find a family member. If it's not a family member, most of us, we don't have like the option to have that. So we just find a close friend, open, talk about it. It's the best thing that you can do. As soon as you open up and talk about that type of stuff, it just takes a lot of weight off you.
Yeah. Did you find, it was either you or a friend or someone that's gone through an abusive relationship, and I will share that I've been in one as well. Do you find that there's no kind of fit in the community for gay bashing in a relationship? Like, it's almost, hard to explain, right?
Yeah, definitely. I guess, like, for me being, close to 6 foot, quite stocky build, people will look at me and be like, he's quite strong, but it's the same thing in a relationship, regardless if you're a man or a woman, like a same-sex couple or different.
You don't want to tell people.
Yeah,
hide
definitely.
It.
You just have that stigma, that shame, but you just need to definitely reach out.
Yeah, I agree with that. What do you think needs to change widely more in New Zealand's gay culture?
I guess we need to stop the bitchiness.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, for us, it's like, we're so diverse. We got bears, we got twinks, we got jocks. Why do we have all these labels? And
Did
then
you just define everyone in this room?
Which one would you be?
Oh, I don't believe in labels. And I don't.
You don't believe in labels, you believe in hashtags.
I know some gym selfies. It's the same one every day.
Excuse me. Are you saying? Excuse me.
I was wondering, you don't believe in hashtags.
I don't use hashtags, no.
You don't use hashtags.
Don't use hashtags.
I'm pretty sure we could prove that wrong very quickly.
Go on. Go for gold.
search for it.
Yeah, okay. Moving along. Other than hashtags and labels, it's a bit similar, I guess, to that bloke kind of she'll be right mentality as well, right?
I definitely think it's like our type of Kiwi where, like, we're definitely a strong masculine type of culture. So it's like, we'll do the rugby, like, oh, don't worry about it, just shrug it off.
Yeah.
But then majority of the people that do all that stuff, they're the ones that are hurting the most.
What do you think would happen to this country, and I know Matt will be very passionate about this, if/when we have a gay All Black?
Oh,
I feel like there's probably one in there already.
There may have been. Yeah, I should rephrase it.
I think there definitely would.
Out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it would be groundbreaking. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think just to have a role model like that, because at the end of the day, New Zealand has put All Blacks on a pedestal, right? So, to have one that we can relate to on such another level, and essentially just be like, he's one of us.
I think that would also help educate kind of mainstream little New Zealand about how you don't have to be the stereotype to be gay. Like, I can remember when I was like 13 or 14, and I thought, well, I can't be gay because I'm not like Will off Will and Grace, or you kind of thought you don't fit in.
What was the other one?
What?
Jack.
Jack. You were more like Jack.
Really?
My mum said something to me the other day that really shocked me out of the blue.
What?
She's like, "You're finally dressing gay," and I was like, "What do you mean?" I was
It
just
was
wearing.
the heel.
I was literally just wearing jeans and a t-shirt with like a shirt on top. Like, it was no big deal. I just chucked it on.
His mum got
and
home
then she's
and
like,
she was wearing some
you
of
look
the
so
clothes.
fashionable.
Well, I think Nick was talking about this.
I know, and I was like, I'm
she-
literally the least fashionable person.
And it's funny how she linked fashionable with being gay.
Yeah, well, Nick had this the other day.
Yeah.
People were saying you don't look gay.
Yeah, well, I get that all the time as of late. I'm just getting all these messages, people saying, congratulations on the win. I didn't think that you were gay, and you
And
don't
he was like,
look
but
gay.
on Grindr. You messaged me on Grindr.
Yeah. Well, we're like 2 meters away.
Yeah.
Why are you leaving this on
Facebook?
Facebook?
Kooge's mum is a lovely person, so I hope she listens to this, and we should say a big hello to her.
Yeah, she's great.
Mr. Gay World New Zealand, is it a beauty pageant?
No, I don't believe it is. I think we're changing it. Well, I guess for most of us now, we're just looking at it as what we can contribute back to society.
Yeah.
I guess there would be an aspect for other countries. I can't speak for other countries and what they do, but for New Zealand, we want to change that. You know, they brought a bunch of amazing men, not judged on looks whatsoever, what they've contributed back to the organization, what they've contributed back to the community, basically. I definitely don't see it like that. Me, with all my scars and all my imperfections, I'm definitely going there, just being the best I can be, representing our country and showing how diverse we are.
In saying that, what are your goals then for the year coming ahead in terms of for your, would you call it a leadership role that you've got? I suppose it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, definitely.
Do you have any goals like penciled out that you want to do for the community? Yeah,
definitely for the community. Like for me, being Pacific Islander as well, I guess it hits home that quite a lot of them, there's that stigma and still in the islands that there's gay rights are not really existent at all. Some of it still you can go to prison for that. And majority of all of us live in Auckland. So it's like awareness with them about AIDS, protection. Some of these guys have families, some of them have partners, some of them. So unprotected sex is like a big thing. Some of these guys go to beat Whitsun Springs or who knows?
Wingate Club.
Yeah, well, something like that. But I think it's But definitely, it's like
Matua Road.
I think it's for me. It's like mostly spreading awareness amongst our whole community, even the people that have taken refuge in New Zealand or call New Zealand home now. They're basically Kiwis in my eyes.
Yeah,
just basically looking after the Polynesian community, including every other nationality, really. So it's just spreading that awareness, educating people, trying to break that stigma of that masculinity that you don't have to be feminine to look gay.
Yeah. One thing I noticed though recently, newly single go on Grindr, and I was quite surprised at how many people are on PrEP, and I didn't realise it was that common.
The word's spreading.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I think you obviously get it through prescription now, so it's a lot cheaper in New Zealand. I didn't realise it was so mainstream.
Well, exactly, and I think kudos to the New Zealand AIDS Foundation for the work they've done there, for raising awareness for that. Obviously, the activations they're doing are working. Like I know they've got amazing full pages in Express, for example. Obviously, the word's getting out, but no, I mean it's great to see.
Those full page ads are quite expensive, aren't they?
Well, no, I mean you get what you pay for, Dan. That's how it works,
Speaking of publications, I've heard about a certain letter that you were sent that you're going to share with us.
No, I don't think I do wish to share it. But no, it was a little bit of a fan mail. It was nice. It was nice. Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah, Nick read it out to me, in fact, in his poetry voice, because it was a poem.
Very beautifully written.
Was it like roses are red, or speedos are blue?
Yes.
How long until you? Anyway.
Oh my God.
No,
well, we definitely know you didn't write the poem. That's for sure.
This was about 6 months ago. So, I mean, and to be fair, just like your poem, it wasn't that. It didn't rhyme. So, I mean.
Oh, those confusing poems.
One of those ones, yeah.
I don't
more emotive, I think.
Yeah.
But that was good. Nick liked it. I think Nick took it home.
Yeah, I'm going to write him back.
Yeah.
Fan mail. Thanks, guys, so much. We are pretty much over and out for the podcast. If you want to get in touch with the podcast, on Facebook, just search News Hub Podcasts. You can call us on 0800 002 898 and leave us a message, feedback, abuse, whatever you like, and email us theoutlook@mediaworks.co.nz.
I don't know any of this.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I'm on my phone quite a lot.
Yeah.
Is this a thing? Okay, I've got
maybe Apple is homophobic after all, He's putting all those limits on.
All right, thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was The Outlook from News Hub, the latest in queer news, views and culture. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms. The Outlook is presented and produced by Dan Lake, and the executive producer is Maggie Wicks.